contrary to what everybody says, how IB's undoable and it's so hard and, you won't have a life outside of it, I think that's very far from the truth because you really only learn from the people in your circle. What IB does is it takes you outside of your comfort zone and it allows you to learn globally. So you take information from different parts of the world and you learn and you become a better person.
Many times in a classroom, you just work on memorizing something just for the test, and then you forget it the moment you walk out of the class. IB just really allows you to develop it and plant the seed for it to grow over the course of the 2 years. History connects to math, and you're just able to make all these connections.
We had the ability to connect trigonometry to Adolf Hitler. I think that definitely says something about IB and its ability to sort of integrate what you're learning. It makes students want to actually make it apply to life.
Why? But this kind of made me think of China.
BOK's sort of place in the curriculum is to make sure that all the stuff you're studying in your individual classes gets pulled together. Instead of going to English and then dumping it out of your brain and going to math. It's how everything connects. No knowledge is independent. All knowledge connects to something else, and it's up to DOK to see those connections.
How can you communicate what you did on your calculator to communicate to the readers what you did? Big tie-in with math is biology. And, we were doing that in biology. Now it seems so much easier. And so there is an overlap with a lot of the classes. And I think the open-mindedness and how they look at the world, how they view each other, how they view other opinions is something that the first year they're really uncomfortable with, and then they start to grasp the idea, hey, if I want somebody to respect my opinion, I better respect theirs. And you start having this openness of how they get along with each other and even within the community. And I think that's really amazing because I didn't see that as one of the aspects at first, as something I've seen grow through the years.
Well, the big difference is that IB biology is more oriented toward developing students capable of doing their own research. Most students in regular or general biology classes and advanced biology classes, they don't really have that opportunity. The fact is, I have the students for 2 years. So the actual content isn't all that much different than what would be in a general biology class. But what really makes it unique, takes us far beyond, and in my opinion makes it a truly special experience is that students do actually design their own experiments, they carry them out, they write them up.
An extended essay is a requirement that you have to have for the DP program, the diploma program, and you have to write a 4,000 word paper over a topic of your choosing. It has to be in one of the required courses. Essentially, you just get to explore in depth a question that you choose. Even just being able to write these kind of papers and having a background in that and being able to write a scientific experiment is going to get me so much further ahead. I had a lot of fun working on it, and it was fun to be doing something so advanced, and it makes you feel really good about what you're doing too, because you're doing something that very few people get the opportunity to do in high school.
I was like, I want to take biology and chemistry and do all this science, and everybody kept telling me not to do it because that's really tough in IB to take both of those classes. And then I got in here and I just learned to love the atmosphere of this art class and love the atmosphere with the people and just learning more and more about art. And I love that in this class I get to express my own ideas.
IB provides an opportunity to where research is just as important as the actual artwork, so you still have the opportunity to pursue it and improve, and that's something that they'll look at as well.
At the end of your 2 years in the program, you create a process portfolio, and so you have to write reflections about your project, how it's going, what you found out. I had never taken an art class before in high school. I stepped in on the first day. I love it now. I have so many new ideas.
A normal art class, I only see them for a semester, and I may or may not see them again. And that's kind of the cool part, is you actually get to form a bond with all the students.
4, 5, 6.
Today in class, the students wanted to do something that was a little more creative and a little more fun than just doing a typical test or an essay. And we've been together all last year, we've been together all this year, and so I think it's necessary to kind of spice things up and do something different, especially I know they get really bogged down in how much homework they have and how much reading and writing they have, and so we wanted to do something kind of fun. And so one of the students said, hey, can we play a game? And so I told them we were going to make a game, and they just kind of went with the idea, and the creativity part was all on them.
Now, Stalin, Nixon, go!
I think that if you are really interested in learning for the sake of learning, not to just get all A's, not to just get 30 college credits, but if you're really interested in learning and learning about yourself and doing it in a group that is like-minded, then I think IB is the program for you, because IB is really just a family of students and teachers, and so I think everybody helps everybody out, and if that's something that you want to do, then I think that you should pursue that.
I'm like living proof of a student that was on the edge between AP and IB, and I'm gonna quote my lit teacher here, Mr. Tracy, when I say that you lose absolutely nothing by trying. IB definitely is worthwhile if you want that challenge and if you're constantly wanting to go in deeper in your classes. If it's kind of, your classes are mundane and you're just kind of like sitting there because you're done first, get into IB, because you're definitely gonna get what you want.
IB is a world-renowned program, so I know they have schools that offer IB, but you have to pay a lot of money and you're put on a wait list, because it is such a great opportunity and it's rare to come across where you don't have to pay or be put on a waiting list.
If you feel like you want to experience new things or you don't have enough challenge in your life, why not? What's the worst that can happen? Why just ride along?
It's a perfect opportunity to challenge yourself and prepare yourself for college. But you won't know if that is the opportunity for you if you don't try it out. And if you just listen to other people who are scared of it or who couldn't go through it themselves, you're being held back from a wonderful opportunity that could change your life.
I actually have a job and I work almost 30 hours a week, and I'm able to do that and still be able to maintain and being in IB, and I also do a sport. So you are able to do everything. You just have to have great time management, which IB has taught me to do.
Don't get so overwhelmed. It's easy to look at the work and become overwhelmed, but you can handle it. Your teachers are there to help you. The rest of your cohort is there to help you. Your parents are there. Nobody's expecting perfection, and I think that that's what a lot of students struggle with, is that they have to get all A's, and that's not true.
My opinions and my views of the world have changed significantly, in some ways completely the opposite of where they were when I started. Certain aspects of biology which I learned about that made me realize my own ignorance. Without IB, I definitely would not have grown to this point in my views of the world.
It's prepared me as much as I could possibly imagine. I am forever grateful for that. I would not be able to be in the program that I am pursuing next year without it. You know, I earned an $80,000 scholarship, which is tremendously helpful. So without IB, I wouldn't have been able to do that, I know for sure.